Hello YouTube. I'm going to talk about the order of honor and the virtue of foresight. Uh, you can go with psychics, ESP, something like that, being able to read the future. Well, in certain ways you can read the future. Something happens, it happens over and over. You can come to a logical conclusion that it could happen again, and this is what they call foresight. It's your experiences equals up to foresight. Like back in the old days, when we used to live in log cabins, didn't have coolers and all that stuff. We used foresight every year because winter came year after year, so we knew winter was coming. That's our foresight. It hadn't got here yet, but we knew it was coming. And since we did have foresight to know that the winter is coming, we're able to get better prepared, stock up supplies and everything like that. The same principles goes for in life. As you go through life, you make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, and you develop more foresight in which ways to plan and better prepare. Because, say for example, you see something that you've seen 100 times before, looks like it's about to be a car wreck. Before the car wreck even happens, no way you possibly know. You can logically use foresight, to see an accident before it even happens. You're like, ooh, that's about to happen, and it happens. That's foresight. A bunch of business people, they usually use foresight when it comes to the business world. They try to predict, based on past information they've gathered, which companies will do the best, and that's the ones they invest in based on their foresight. It really comes in handy throughout life because the ability of foresight to see, or the virtue of foresight to see something happens before it happens, gives you a pretty big advantage or edge. Say for example, if you knew back in those days the stock market was about to crash, you could get away from the crash, or you could prepare for it and get ready for it. If we had the foresight for Katrina, it really pissed me off how bad our government went about that. I mean, we knew the storms were coming, we knew the levees were bad or were not been prepared. I know we had the foresight, we just, as a government or society, we just chose not to do anything about it, or they did, FEMA, because that was horrible. Because anyone to actually look, at New Orleans, they knew what was going to happen. They had the virtue of foresight. But just because you have an ability doesn't mean most people are going to use it. Or if you have power, people are going to use it. But foresight is a pretty important virtue because, say for example, you see your cars your tires are wearing thin, which I've seen some people drive around with tires almost bald. Well, some people looks at their foresight and sees those tires are about to bust and they get new ones. Some people don't develop that foresight until after those tires bust. Then they get new ones, and when those ones start to wear out, and they make that a top priority due to the past experience. That gives them more foresight into the future to know, hey, those tires could bust, I need to change them. That's why foresight is a virtue and one which you should follow, because it can make your life easier. If you see accidents happen before they actually happen, you can prevent them. That old saying, a pound of prevention is worth an ounce of, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Yeah. Because, say you have some kind of, I can't recall the exact, it's whenever a woman's bones get brittle. I don't know, I can't recall the exact name. But anyways, if you know that, you have the foresight, you can start taking calcium to prevent it, which is worse, broken bones constantly, or taking a few calcium supplements daily. The ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So foresight is, in some way, able to see the future based on your past experiences, or the acquired knowledge that you know. Please comment on foresight and what it means to you, or some ways that you've used foresight, it will be appreciated. I thank all my subscribers. Please rate and comment.